15 years.
10 years.
10 years.
It began with a few puffs here and there with friends, but before I knew it, it was a strong, unbreakable habit.
After a while, I noticed that my stamina was going down. I could not jog easily, I could not climb stairs easily. I knew it was hurting me, but I simply could not quit.
And having tried almost every other alternative therapy there is, I chanced upon a vape, and curiosity got the better of me.
I read about this on the internet, connected with people regarding this, and bought my very first vape gear.
It was one of the best decisions I have ever made. Within days of picking up the vape, I had completely given up smoking, and I have never looked back ever since.
Recently, the government of India took a very wrong decision to ban vaping, saying it was promoting smoking amongst the youth.
And despite a mountain of evidence that it was indeed safer than smoking or any other form of tobacco, presented wrong facts to the Indian people.
We need to join hands to fight this ban together. We need you to help us help you.
We need to protect our right to choose and our right to safer alternatives.
The world of vapers are coming together on 30th of May to celebrate the World Vape Day.
Every vapor in India should be proud that they vape, proud that they have picked a safer alternative.
Every vapor in India should pitch in, and the rest of the world get our voices heard.
We are vapers, we celebrate World Vape Day. We have said no to tobacco. Tweet and post messages with these hashtags.
Hashtag World Vape Day, hashtag End Vape Ban, hashtag Tobacco Exposed.
Let's come together and have our voices heard. We owe it to ourselves. It's our right.
So get on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform, but please do.
This is happening on 30th May 2020 and every 30th May hereafter. Join us and register on AVI for more ideas.
Come online to speak to the world on AVI Live. Looking forward to your presence there.
Let us come together. Let us shout out loud and make our presence felt on this World Vape Day, 30th of May 2020 and thereafter.
We are the Vapers of India, and we are proud of it. This 30th May, on the World Vape Day, all the vapers around the world and India are uniting. And together, we will be victorious.
Okay, so we're live now, guys. And ladies and gentlemen, Deviyon or Sajno, Swagat, welcome, Vanakam, Namaskar. 30th of May 2020 marks an important day globally. पूरी दुनिया में आज के दिन मनाया जा रहा है वर्ल्ड वेप डे to celebrate the choice of 42 million people to live a healthier life, to pursue harm reduction, कि जितनी अच्छी जिंदगी जी पाए उतनी अच्छी जिंदगी जिए। मेरा नाम कनव ऋषि कुमार है और एवीआई की तरफ से मैं आप सबका स्वागत करता हूं। आज की लाइव स्ट्रीम सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट लाइव स्ट्रीम है एवीआई की जो आज तक हमने करी है। आज की स्ट्रीम में आप लोगों को हम नहीं बताएंगे कि वेपिंग क्यों बेटर है, बट आप लोग, people who volunteered, we reached out to the community and the community answered, and they will come and tell you. If you don't believe us, listen to them. People who quit smoking, जिन्होंने सिगरेट छोड़ के वेप यूज करना शुरू करा, वो आज आप लोगों को बताएंगे how vaping has helped them, how vaping has improved their quality of life. And उनके शब्दों पे hopefully we can all get together and make a noise loud enough for the government of India to hear, for the world to hear, and for us to fight the ban on vapes. So please join me, AVI, India, and the entire world in celebrating World Vape Day today. We also do have a few people who are going to be joining us today from the AVI board, and Juggy is evidently the most prominent one you'll be seeing. So Juggy, please say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone. And
essentially, we're going to try to keep our involvement, our interaction to the bare minimum today, and we're going to let the other people speak. People who are not part of AVI, but they've come today as users. So we're going to let the users put their voice forward. And the first user which we're going to be having today is going to be, who do we have ready, Juggy, already?
Hoshang's there with us.
Pushang's here. So, hi, Push. Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I have a very short story, so can I go ahead?
Absolutely, Hoshang. You go ahead. You tell us your vape story.
All right. So I started smoking when I was in St. Mary's School at the tender age of 15, and then smoked for 40 years. It started with the Charminar non-filter cigarettes, moving on to Capstans and Chinnas and Wills and you name them, finally winding up with preferring the golden tobacco to the roasted tobacco, and ended up with the Benson and Hedges Reds. And it was a part of my life. I was also keen on playing table tennis, and I play a lot of table tennis, including competitively on the veteran circuit. And I found that these cigarettes, damn it, they really take the life out of me, especially with tough matches. It was, a half a puff and all sorts of things. So it was really, really playing on my health. I must have tried stopping at least 100 times. And I tried all sorts of techniques. I heard about some homeopathic doctor in Germany that would give you an injection behind your ear and you'd stop smoking. And I tried Nicorette, I tried gum, I tried everything possible, and that was simply not there. About 2.5 years ago, my grown-up daughters, one of them came and told me that, Dad, have you ever tried the option of a vape or of a Juul? And I said, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm a hardcore smoker. I smoked for 40 years. There's no way that I can possibly switch back to or switch out of it. It's for me, it's either do it or don't do it kind of thing. That was the only option. One day, ironically, I was at the CCI club and I found lying on a bench a Juul. And my thought was, let me take this Juul and hand it to the lost and found. And that was it. And I brought it home and I told my daughter the next day, just hand it back to the lost and found. She said, Dad, we don't know whose this is. I'll give you a new pot. She used to vape. And why don't you just try it? Why don't you just try it? And the first day I tried it, obviously it didn't give me that satisfaction, but and I smoked along with it. The second day it was only one cigarette, and then the third day it was no cigarettes, and then a week passed, and I found that I really didn't need the cigarette anymore. And I also found that I was playing better table tennis. I was getting less tired. There was a definite impact on my health. And since that day, I haven't looked back. I haven't touched a single cigarette since then. It's been a Juul. And I am truly, truly happy that this one thing has helped me switch out from that cancer stick to what I have, this little non-odor, simple device. And that's my story.
Incredible.
Jaggi, over to you.
Incredible. And this is a story which we will keep hearing again and again because it's true. These are true life ones, right? I mean, it's as incredible as it is. That's all you take. All you need is that one initiative to pick it up, then you never let go. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Hoshan, your story resonates so perfectly with mine that I actually had goosebumps halfway through. And thank you so much for coming forward and telling us about your story. I'm sure it means a lot to everybody out there who's watching.
And a big word of appreciation for you guys. Honestly, the efforts and the time that you've been taking merely to make people aware of what the facts are. I mean, it's nothing. It's not rocket science. It's just so simple. But it's really hats off to you guys who've taken the effort, taken the time, and brought it up to a level where hopefully people will listen to us. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Hoshan. Thank you.
Thank you, Hoshan. Yeah. So guys, just in case you guys are not aware, today we're not doing just one stream, we're doing multiple activities. So if it is possible for you guys, do go on to webpage of vapeindia.org/World Vape Day and go through the activities and participate in them. I'm going to put out the link for a split second for you guys to have a look at it. And hopefully you guys can see the web page over here. It's written on the top, and you can see what the web page looks like and the possible activities which you can participate in. So do participate in the Twitter campaign, the email campaign, the live stream, and the social media campaign. See what the web page looks like and the possible activities which you can. And with that, we're going to be switching over to the next the next spokesperson or the caller. I don't know which way you want to place it, because technically this isn't a voice show, but yeah, so we're going to be going to Arman.
Yeah.
And Arman, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Arman, I can hear you loud and clear. Arman, of course, you're quite a famous celebrity in our circle,
Not
with your very powerful video.
That way.
But we want to hear your story. What is your vape story, Arman? How and where did you start from, and what can you tell us about yourself up here?
First of all, I'd like to congratulate everyone present on the stream right now and everyone who's watching the stream right now that we actually get to celebrate a World Vape Day today. And a word of appreciation for all the guys who have been working for the cause without any vested interest and trying to bring uh, the Indian guys on the forefront of this fight. So yeah. Also, my story is a bit different from everyone because I wasn't really into cigarettes. Cigarettes weren't my thing, and to be honest, I've never really smoked a cigarette. But I was heavily invested into shisha, and it was more like 3 to 4 times a day. I was staying in Mumbai for my masters, and they would have been like the sessions would go on for 2-3 hours, 5 times a day, 7 times a day, or probably 10 times a day. No one ever counted that. So the first ever vape that I bought was in Australia in 2015. I was there for a vacation, and that's when I saw the device. I knew about the puff cigarettes, the e-cigarette kind of thing that were there in the market, which gave you like 200, 300 puffs, but they weren't really satisfactory at all. So I bought the device in 2015, but never really made a complete switch from shisha to vapes back in 2015. Eventually, I went to Malaysia. I saw a lot of devices and the vape market over there in 2017, and that is when I took up vaping full time and I gave up on shisha. Shisha, as it is, was the only factor why I was into shisha is because of the coolness factor, you can say, and the time and to kill the time. So vaping has really helped me move on from shisha. It was really addictive, and I did not know it at the time that I was doing it. But when I tried getting off it, then I got to know the symptoms about it. And yeah, so that is basically my story and how I moved on from shisha to vaping. The benefits that I'd like to mention is I am very regular at the gym, and obviously I felt better. I was into running. I used to run at least 60 minutes a day, and I could feel the difference. I could cover more distance in the same amount of time. I am also a rider, and with anyone who rides bikes or scooters, they know that this requires a lot of stamina and a good pumping heart as well. And this is where I felt the difference as well. I have been trying to spread the awareness regarding the cause through my YouTube channel as much as I can. And I am always there for you guys. If you guys need me for any help, you guys can just ping me. So that is my story. It's not a long one, it's a short one. And I hope this inspires you in some way or the other.
It does, Arman. Thank you so much for sharing. And Arman, agar aapke sath it is okay, can I ask you a question or two more?
Sure, sure.
So since you are one of those unique people जो हुक्का पीते थे या शीशा करते थे and not cigarettes, this is a question जो बहुत लोगों को आता है दिमाग में. उनको लगता है कि शीशा या हुक्का is very little harmful या compared to a cigarette कुछ harm नहीं करता. And when it comes to vaping, the government and काफी लोगों को ऐसा portray किया गया है that it's more dangerous than a cigarette also. So as somebody who has used shisha and used vape, can you vouch absolutely कि आपको vaping में आपकी health much better feel होती थी? आपको
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you so much, because that is an.
I'd like to add a point if you're okay with it.
Bilkul, please.
So when I made a full-time switch to vaping from shisha, there was no coughing in the morning as compared to before when I was into shisha. Plus, the breathing was more better. I mean, that's all I can say. I felt the difference personally, and I don't know how to put it into words, but yes, I did not have any morning cough, and I was breathing much better as compared to the previous time.
And Arman, one last question. When you vape, and I know this is a question which we've not rehearsed, this is completely live, and ho sakta hai jo main question पूछूं might backfire a little bit, but we want to be honest with the world. When you vape, do you use nicotine in your flavors?
Yes, I do. I do vape 3 mg nicotine liquids.
Right. But are you aware
I
that
was
हुक्का के अंदर
doing
nicotine
shisha
होता है?
quite back then. Sorry?
But you are aware कि हुक्का also has nicotine in it?
I do. I think one session is almost approximately like 20 cigarettes or probably more than that. And apart from that,
Absolutely.
there are a lot of chemicals, just like cigarettes. So yeah.
Excellent. So it is so good that you actually educated yourself and learned about it and knew that, because sometimes what happens is people try to switch from smoking cigarettes or smoking hookah to vaping, and they say कि हम तो hookah पीते थे, so we'll go to 0 mg naturally, because in their mind vaping does not have nicotine. But that's sorry, hookah does not have nicotine. But that is not true. Actually hota hai, and that is why they don't get the satisfaction. So for
Withdrawal symptoms with
shisha
shisha as
smokers,
well.
yes.
I'd also like to put a point that you get withdrawal symptoms with shisha as well whenever you're trying to quit. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Arman, for coming and sharing your story
I
with
still
us.
like to thank everyone who's out here and helping the cause.
Arman, just one last question before
Sure.
you go. Would you like to say something for all the viewers out there on what you believe their purpose should be when it comes to promoting vaping, and on this World Vape Day itself? Would you like to share a message for everyone watching?
Sure.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to reiterate that this product is only for hardcore smokers who are looking towards a tool which can help them quit. This is not a recreational device for kids and underage users. Do not treat it as one. This is a very powerful tool. When used correctly, can change your lives and the lives of the people around you. Personally, I believe that this government is practical and reasonable. Right now, they've banned it, but I'm sure eventually they will give this a second look, and there will be a day when this will be legalized in our country. And I hope we see that day soon enough. Yeah.
So do
Till
we,
then,
Arman. We also do. So with that, I think we're going to be moving on towards the next caller. Arman, thank you so much for joining us. We are eternally grateful to you for all the support you've given to AVI throughout.
Thank you.
And thank you. And joining us next, we have, if I'm not mistaken, Pradeep Bhai.
Yes, Kadav, I am here and I am live. So, talking about vaping, how it started for me, I think it was 5-6 years back. One of my friend in office started using, or rather was researching about vaping, and we saw him vaping in our smoking zones. So we had a chai ka dukan, and we all used to surround the chai ka dukan and have smokes there. So I saw this fellow vaping, and I approached him, and he was a friend of mine. I mean, I knew him. So that's when I got to know that this is a situation. And I think within and he used to say that, I have to get this, import this, blah blah blah. And I think it just took me about 2 days to kind of find someone who sells it, buy it in 2 days, and start there. But I have to admit, it took me, I think, at least 8 months to 10 months before I completely switched over to vaping. So I was a dual user for a while, at least about a year. I could say a year I was a dual user. One fine day, I was not well. I had fever for about four days. I could not get up from the bed, and that's when I decided, I think enough is enough, and that's when I switched completely over to vaping. And my honest truth is that I think after that, I probably have got fever or the cough, which comes as a symptom with a smoker, maybe twice in the last 5 years. I'm talking about, which used to be every 3 months or 6 months when I was smoking. So that's one thing which I have seen as a health improvement for myself. The other point is, I used to play badminton. I still play, but not as often as I used to. And after I switched on to vaping, I could see that I could play more games before I started getting tired. In midst of all these, we had one great person called Anuj Gupta in Dell, who created this group called the Great Vaping Community of India. And because I was a vapor with him, he said, come join over, and that's how it started as a 10-member group. And now we have about 4,900, 5,000 people. Um, that's pretty much the reason I'm taking that point or topic up is that I want to appeal to all those people who are part of this group, that group, whichever group it is, right? The appeal here is to come forward, support what has saved you, right? The vaping has saved your life, and I know for a fact there are so many people who will agree with me that that is the truth. Come forward, support the advocacy groups, support. You might be thinking that okay, I am getting, mujhe aaj mil raha hai, I'm getting the liquids, I'm getting the pods, I'm getting the mods, but what you're not understanding is that it, as Samrat mentioned in one of the calls, or maybe a text, that it creates a black market, and that's not good for our economy. Why, if you come forward and support vaping, and if this gets legalized, it will be an industry by itself, and it will be a very huge industry in India, considering the population what we have, and the smokers associated with it. That's my appeal, and that's my story, Kanav.
Thank you, Pradeep bhai. Firstly, though, absolutely love your background.
Thank you.
So cool that you do all these things. You add to the fun so much. Love your personality and the persona. You bring in the fun in all of this and all.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your story. It means a lot.
If it's not too much, another couple of words. I really would like to thank a lot of people whom whom I've had my vaping journey with. There are a lot of people, and it will take at least an hour for me to name them. But the AVI board and the AVI core team members, they have put in a lot of effort, a lot of time, energy into this. So that you need to understand that there is a lot of background work which happens. Be it Samrat, Jaggu, Arin, yourself, Oliver, Dhaval, Soham. I mean, they've done tremendous work. You would not believe the amount of work they've put into background to do all this, and to reach out to you, vapers. So please support advocacy and vaping in India. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pradeep bhai. Of course, AVI is an ever-growing community. We have more and more people joining us, and you guys should also consider subscribing. Even if you cannot actively participate in every possible stream which we do, or every possible activity which we do, stay subbed, give us a like, and join us whenever it is possible for you. Vaping has saved your life. That's why you're here, and we thank you. We're grateful to you for coming today. But we would really appreciate it if you joined us in almost all our events and activities. Talking about that, we're going to get Samrat, one of the more popular AVI personalities, coming online next. Samrat, are you here?
Hi.
My God, Samrat, that was the most awkward hi from your side ever.
Yeah, well, I was doing a bunch of things.
Samrat, why don't you tell us a little bit about AVI, its roots, its starts? How did AVI come into existence? I understand there are a lot of great people we owe a lot to, who've helped us in the journey and have helped AVI get this far and become such a powerful organization in the country as of today. So please give us a brief about AVI and tell us a little bit about its past.
So I'll make this really brief, because there are a lot of people who are going to speak, and I just don't want to hog a lot of space. So it's an organic movement which started because vapers got talking. There were bans coming in. There was a ban in Karnataka, and that's when we started thinking, okay, if we don't push back, this is going to continue. Which is when a bunch of us got together, people from diverse fields, and that's how it's always been. We got together, we decided to fight against that ban. That one thing led to another, and it became bigger and bigger. So it's a lot of people putting in selfless effort without any gain. No one gets paid. All our donations are transparent, and it is because we vapers want a better life. We've all been ex-smokers who have struggled to quit. This work for us, and that's what brings us together. We are like a self-help group, and now we are also fronting a fight for our rights. I hope that answers your question.
That did, Samrat. Thank you so much, and kudos to you for all the effort which you've put in, because you have been one of the key driving forces. You've gotten all of us together. You've kept us motivated and together. And I don't think we guys also give you the appreciation which you deserve at times. So thank you so much for that. Also, thank you so much for keeping it short. We are amazed at your one-time ability to keep it short.
See, I did it.
Yes. Practice does make perfect eventually. Guys, joining us next is somebody from the AVI team, and a very important person to be joining us, because he brings in a lot of variation from the standard people whom you would be seeing today. Joining us next is none other than Olivia. Olivia, are you online? Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
And is everyone with you, or are you all by yourself?
No, now I can call them, but they are in the next room.
Okay, so Olivia is. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Okay, so I'm basically from Switzerland. Okay.
Yeah.
My first time in India was in '97. I was traveling. I traveled for 3 months between India and Nepal, and then I went back for 2 years. And finally, on one nice day in 2004, I found a job in Delhi. So I came and settled and worked in Delhi for an online travel agency, a European one. And since that day, I live in India. I am married to an Indian. My wife is Indian. I have 2 kids, 2 sons, 10 and 5 years old, which are like lions during this lockdown.
So a little fun fact for all of you: the first time around when I met all of the members of AVI's board, I met all of them at Olivia's house. Olivia was kind enough to host the entire board at his house. I met his wife, Sibel, and the kids, and they've been generous hosts. They're amazing people, and I felt the warmth from them in the very first go.
Thank you. It was a great weekend, despite
It was one of the best memories I have.
It was one of the worst weekend for the rain. It was raining like continuously. There was a taxi strike also. It was quite funny.
Yes.
No, but that rain didn't stop us from swimming and stuff like that either, right?
That's true. So,
but see, Olivia, your vape story is very interesting because your smoking habit used to upset your family. And ever since you've switched, your family has also been much happier, and they support you in this.
And
so
I
please do tell us about your vape story.
So one evening was in 2017, December. One friend from Delhi was in my place. We had nice barbecue, and he started to vape. Then I did not know what he took out from his pocket and all this. I heard about vape before, like in 2015 or something. But then I did not care so much. Then I really started to ask him what is it about, and I was thinking it was more harmful than cigarette. Like lots of people think like this still. And then I started to do my research on the internet and all, safer than smoking this combustible cigarette. So I ordered from Switzerland. I ordered my first